Day in the life, 5 in the morning. This isn't gonna be one of those fucking day in the lives where I pretend to like put a camera down and not notice it's there and I'm just waking up for the first time. I'm going to speed run the vloggy type bit so you can see everything visually, and then I'm going to explain exactly what this does for me and how it has changed my life, this daily routine as a 19-year-old who owns a gym, has had some boxing fights. You've heard it all before. I'm pretty cool. Welcome. Oh, scary. Welcome to Polarize, my friend. Oh yeah, cool. So wake up, pretty much turn all the fucking lights on, look at the mess I left the day before. Quick pump check. Oosh, oosh. So this is her. She's pretty cute. First order of business when I get in this bitch is get some caffeine in me immediately. It's got 1,300 milligrams of caffeine in a bottle. Should I just chug that shit? Ooh. Once caffeine's on lock, kitchen shit's done, and we are going to start setting up properly. Typically I'll sit down and figure out what the session of the day is because I've pre-planned all of this. So we go in like cycles. Anyway, it's boring. So I'll set up the dumbbell RDLs here, cable rows here, and that is the session set up for the next 2 hours while I have both my classes. So that's done. I pretty much just hang out with some sick people for like 2 hours training them, usually. Like creatine is fucking awesome, so I've been having that shit every single day. Makes me sleep better, which is super important for me. Obviously waking up at 5 a.m. sucks balls, and it's not something you want to do every single morning. Waking up at 4:20 a.m. every single morning. That means I can't go to bed past like 8:30, by the way, if I want a full night's sleep. But you gotta do what you gotta do while you gotta do it. No, sorry, I'm not distracting you. Beautiful. Morning session's done. I am going to the fucking beach. It's 5:30 to 6:30 and then 6:30 to 7:30 done. And now I'm gonna get a little coffee, go beach, go for a swim, reset, because I feel like shit. And yeah, life should be good after that. Bombo clot. That looks nice. That was mint. That was beautiful. I feel like I've been in a massive rush lately, and shit like this, going to the beach, chilling out in the morning, having some like downtime, meditating, I need to get back onto that. It has slowed my brain down and I genuinely feel better for it. The rest of the day I make better decisions. I feel less anxious throughout the day. Like I don't feel like I need stuff, like need caffeine, need nicotine. I don't feel like I need any of these things if I'm slow. When I'm like super fast paced and I'm not thinking straight and shit just gets a bit strange, I've found. But these slower moments seem to send to me a lot. Fucking cyclists, oh my God. So morning dip done. It's time to head back to the gym. I'm gonna grab a little coffee first. But I definitely have slowed down my caffeine intake. I was smashing like 8 shots, 12 shots a day. Don't know how much that is in like milligrams, but I just know it's a fucking lot. And I know how it made me feel. And I was making those stupid decisions, crashing hard eventually. It felt good for the first week, first 2. Boom, get shit done, bang, bang, bang. But I'm at a point now where I need to slow down and make some smarter decisions with the business. So if you're at a point like that, it could be a good idea to slow down your caffeine intake, have a slower start to your mornings. 8:30. Back to the gym, class at 9. Let's get ready for that. Bro, this camera, oh, you can see everything, bro. So sorry. Session done. Good job. Uh-oh. 9 o'clock complete. It's bedtime. Back home for a little sleep. So usually it's home for a nap after the morning session. Some food, quick scram, nap it up, then back to the gym. He knows he's coming to the gym, don't ya? Hey, are you going to the gym? Are you going to the gym? Yeah, buddy. Sit. Good boy. Oh, good boy. You love getting dressed up. Wait, no, come back. Come back. You love getting dressed up, hey? Oh, whoa. Oh yeah, that's my buddy. You ready? You ready? Are you ready to go to the gym? Oh, you look badass, bro. Come on. Look how pumped the lad is. Never seen him so happy, eh? Aww. Dog got Curdy Wordy. PT.
Fuck you.
Whoa. Sorry. We got Curdy Wordy and sorry, bro. Little PT sesh before the men's session, the Savo. It's about 4:40 now. What's going on? That session's done, and it is now 11 p.m. because I did just have a girl over, but I try not to do that as much anymore, especially stay up this late when I gotta wake up at 5. It's a bit of a thing, but we're gonna move on to the breakdown. What I do right now that works really well for me, and the reasons, the things that I still do now that got me to where I am, because there's different things you need to do at different stages. Like, do not mimic the peak, mimic the rise. Copy someone who is on the way up. Don't copy someone who's at the top, because they do completely different things. Fucking Elon Musk plays video games. He couldn't play video games while he was setting up Tesla. He couldn't play video games while he was setting up PayPal. But now he's a multi 100 deca center billionaire. Now he can play video games. So I don't play video games because I'm not a deca billionaire, center billionaire. So mimic the rise, not the peak. And that's what we're going to break down right now. So this is exactly how I went from a complete little stoner nerd to owning a gym, getting a little bit of muscle. I don't mean for any way for this to be preachy. This is just what I did, and it seems to be working pretty well. I'm only going to tell you the things that did like the big chunk shit, not cold showers, not I was taking this supplement and then I started getting muscle. Just the shit that genuinely helped and got me like 80% of the result. So the first thing is going to be removing. Socially, this means removing bad friends. You can't add new friends in until you get the old friends out, unfortunately. I grew up around a lot of like just spastic kids in school. So removing those social circles from my life, like not getting tempted to go smoke weed with these kids, not getting tempted to fucking go to the skate park and skateboard when you're poor. Socially, this also meant with women, bro. I've broken up with many girls to focus on my goals, which some people might say is sad, but if these girls were holding me back and making me like mentally unhappy and unable to fulfill my business and goals, then they weren't good for me, and I'm just doing something good for myself. So you can call it sad if you want. I think it would be sadder if I stayed. Physically, there's going to be a lot of distractions that you're going to have to get rid of. First of all, classic one, stop watching porn, bro. You're spending your life energy, literally wasting your energy. You know how you feel after you do that shit? I stopped this when I was 16. I got introduced to it when I was like 12, 13, as most young guys do. You know how you feel afterwards? You don't want to go work. You got no inclination to go train afterwards. You want to go to sleep. You literally do it to go to sleep. How could that benefit you and give you energy in any way? So get that shit out of your life. It's a complete distraction. It ruins your self-esteem. You feel shameful, guilty, and it is just genuinely not, you don't have to do it. And girls actually like you more when you don't do it. I've put a little arrow from life filters up to remove, because the way that you're going to choose the things that you want to remove from your life before you start adding new things onto your plate, you need to put them through a filter of, will this help me achieve my goal? So my life filter at the moment is, will this help with Polarize? I just ask myself that question when anything comes up. It could be as simple as fucking getting a coffee in the morning. Will this help with Polarize? Sure, you could go down different routes. For example, little thought experiment. If it was something like going on a date with a girl, you might see that as distraction from the goal, Polarize. But if it helps the operator, me, this is my way of justifying it, by the way. If it helps the operator relax, feel more confident, have a bit of fun, social downtime, As long as it's not in excess, it's actually good for Polarize. It's actually good for the business. Same thing with caffeine, things like this. In excess, it's usually the case. This is usually the case. In excess, that thing's going to fuck you up. You're going to be too overstimulated. You're not going to be making the right business decisions, things like this. It doesn't have to just be business-wise, just life decisions in general. Everything, business is just a reflection of the owner and operator's life. So if you're starting out, which I assume if you're watching this type of content, you are, you have to take care of yourself in the best way possible. And this doesn't mean like pleasureful activities. So the life filter, for example, could be, what am I going to eat for lunch today? If I need to work, I'm going to pick something that's higher protein, lower carbs, so I don't get brain fog. This could be a bit like deep for you, but protein, I'll pick food that doesn't mess with my brain over junk food. Simple. That's the life filter I apply to everything. So you need to find your own life filter that you can apply to your life just to make everything dead simple and super clean. And obviously this life filter doesn't fuck you up in bad ways. It's super like stress tested. I've stress tested it. So it could be, like I said before with the dating thing, it could be going to see your family. Does this help with the business? Probably like going to lunch with your mum isn't going to get me more clients, isn't going to make me more money directly. But me hanging out with my mum, I love my mum. I'm going to feel happy afterwards, feel well fed, and work harder because the owner and operator is performing at a higher rate. So technically, yes, it does help. In excess, if I'm going out to lunch with my mum every day, eating bullshit, it's not going to help the business. That's life filter, and that's the things we need to remove. Like jacking off. Is jacking off? It's rarely what I heard somebody say this once, you may know who. Jerking off is rarely the best move on the chessboard to make. Anyway, number 2 is challenges. Going through very hard things makes stressful times a lot easier. A extreme example of this is I have a lot of clients in the gym, in the women's class specifically. Sorry if you're watching this. And they love to complain. It's just what they do. And I had some boxing fights at the start of last year. 13 weeks, hard training, almost broke my hand. I'm feeling fucked up. I've got stress fractures in my legs. I'm getting cleaned up in sparring. I've got to beat up another guy in front of my family, girlfriend, friends, and put my life on the line in front of like 200 people. And then I go to the gym the next day and hear people complaining about, oh, I couldn't find a parking spot and it ruined my day. And it's just one of those days. Hearing people complain about super simple stuff when I just went through something so extreme pissed me off like to my core. So if you increase the difficulty of your life in a good way, don't just make shit difficult for no reason. Don't just like blow up a store just so you can go to prison and like, anyway, you kind of get what I mean. Increase the difficulty of life. Start adding challenges into your life. It's going to start super simple, bro. Start with a cold shower in the morning. I said I would have mentioned cold showers, but I did. You do those to start. I did them for a year straight, every single morning during winter. Cold showers. If your life is too easy, you need to find ways to make it difficult. Make yourself uncomfortable. If the car's really hot on the way to work, don't turn the aircon on. Little things. It'll start with little things and it'll eventually progress to big things. For example, it started with the cold showers, then it moved to removing distractions that I really enjoyed. That felt super uncomfortable. That was a challenge for me. Not talking to girls for an extended period of time. Like semen retention, things like this, that are massive challenges for a young man who's fucking charged up. You want to do these things, and when you're fighting that urge, it's a good challenge. So to move from that to starting my own business, trying to like figure out how to get a client, putting myself out there, posting on social media, and like being ready to receive judgment onto myself. Every step that you get further along, every time the challenge gets bigger, that's your new baseline for stress. My new baseline for stress now is so incredible. Like, since I've had these fights, pretty much most shit is quite easy. Honestly, like I have clients say, I'm going to cancel my membership, this and that. And it's like, okay, I had to fight a guy in front of 200 people. Like, this isn't that big of a thing. I don't mean that sounds like I'm glazing myself. I'm just saying, for example, it could be you. You could
Fighting is a really good one. I would probably just stick with that if I'm honest. You could be running a marathon and it's the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. Oh my God, I ran like 40 Ks today. I don't care that I dropped my pencil. You know what I mean? These minor inconveniences aren't going to trigger you as much. And the higher stress you can tolerate from the increased challenge that you do, by the way, start small. As you increase your challenges, you get a better stress tolerance and you're able to handle more shit. I can handle 50 clients now. If you talk to Jackson 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I wouldn't even know what to do with that. Like, I've got to deal with all these people. I have to go help my family do this and do this and do this and do this. Now I'm at a point where I can handle this amount of stress because I've been through hard shit and I know that I survive. I'm not dead. I know the world didn't explode. Number 3, reminders. I want you to constantly remind yourself of who you are and what you want. What I did was I created a document that I read pretty much every day. It had on the front was a bunch of photos of exactly where I wanted my life and some photos of me in there to kind of mix the two and converge the two. I was constantly reminding myself of what I wanted, so I never went off track. So I kept my life filter at the front of my mind, kept my distractions away, and was constantly pursuing more challenge. Because, bro, you could want something so bad. I promise you this. I'm very guilty of this. I wanted this so bad. I want the gym to be super successful. And then like for 3 weeks, I'll forget like what the main goal is and I'll be doing some bullshit. I'll be hanging out with chicks too much. I'll be fucking going to parties, drinking. And I'm like, I'll remind myself, do you remember what the goal was? Why are you doing this? This does not contribute to the goal. This is not conducive of the goal. What are you doing? And then I'll be like, wow, I just wasted 3 weeks. So if you don't want to waste any time, constant daily reminders every single morning of what you want to achieve are going to be so integral for your progress. Remind yourself daily, however you want to do this, by the way. I like pieces of paper on my wall. I'm a schizophrenic. Before you leave the house, maybe it's something you read every day, affirmations, constant reminders to yourself. And finishing on life filters again. Remind yourself of the goals you want. Make your life filters conducive of the goals you want. And you're pretty much set from there. My life filter, what makes the gym? Is this going to make the gym grow? Probably going out and drinking is very rarely the best move on the chessboard. It's very rarely the best move to make for me. Sometimes it might be if I'm going to go drink with like potential clients. There's certain cases where it could make me some money or improve the business, but very rarely is it. As long as I keep to this life filter of, is this conducive of my goal? I am more likely to achieve that goal. And it's worked for me. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Hope this video was helpful. Hope the start wasn't too boring. I hate that like influencer bullshit, but I'm actually having some fun with recording these videos. And I hope it's helped you, showing you what my life is like at buying this gym at 19. It's been pretty fun, bro. I'll be honest. We've done so much stuff. We've helped so many people. And I get to work for myself at such a young age. Look at this place, man. I'm very grateful. So thanks for watching. If you need any help, we have a little community down below. Love to hang out with you. Peace.